Welcome back. I'm Calvin, aka Statue Fanatic, here with a look at some really awesome fig pens. And many of you guys have seen me on different shows and things like that, know that the fig pen collection is my new obsession for the last couple of years. I think there are some amazing collectibles on a number of different levels. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to show off the Star Wars collection that they have released thus far this year. And the collection that I'm going to show off is the ones that you could have gotten somehow and entered it into the app. I'm not talking about all of the ones that, you know, people have because they're APs and they have the ability to get, you know, advanced shipments of things that haven't yet been released to be put in the app yet. But I have all of the ones that have been released that you can actually add to the app. And so we're going to go through this right now. What you're looking at is all of the Star Wars fig pens that are in their casing right now. This is from A New Hope, and as you can see, there is one that's not from A New Hope, and I'll tell you a little bit about that one. And then my next video, I think I'm going to do either Mandalorian or Clone War pens that they've released, and then they've also released some from the Bad Batch. So as we take a look at these, we're going to start over to the left, go all the way to the right, take a look at them inside of the packaging, and then I'll take them out of the packaging and show the pens and what they look like just by themselves on the little base that they come with, because Figpin gives you so many options to display these. It's incredible. As you can see right now, just the way they are right now, the way these fig pens look right now, I mean, displaying them this way is just freaking amazing as well. I mean, they sit really well on a shelf. They have all of the artwork on the back of the pens, and they just look fantastic just stored this way. But I've seen people do all kinds of cool things with them. For example, there's a Disney princess set of fig pens. I saw a person take those pens and build the Lego princess castle and took the pens out of the packaging and put the Legos, the fig pens all throughout the castle, which was really awesome. But you can also decide to display these outside of the packaging on just the base. So let's take a look at what we have so far. We'll start with Darth Vader. You can see here the classic Darth Vader, pin number 701, and these are not in any necessary order in terms of numerical order because Figpin doesn't always release them in numerical order. And so you have Luke Skywalker with his blaster there, and then you have his sister right here, Leia, and then of course you have C-3PO and R2-D2. And then this guy here on the end is pretty interesting looking. This is what some people might call a chase figure or whatever, but this was released last year on Father's Day to be shipped as their Father's Day pen. You know, Luke got me a father thing. I think there's some play off of that. But this is a gold-plated pen. It's the same as the one that we saw over here. It just happens to be gold-plated. And I think there were 2,000 of those made. And then as we go down here, I said there was one that wasn't part of the New Hope, and that is the 40th anniversary, I guess, of the Empire Strike Back. A couple of unique things about this particular pen. One, it is the edition size of this pen is 1,980, and of course that was the year that the Empire Strike Back came out. That's the edition size of this one, and it, again, like I said, is the only one that's not part of the New Hope line. But it's an amazing pen, and if I can remember correctly, this was the first Star Wars fig pen that they released. Again, this pen sold out like instantly, and now it's anywhere from $70 to $100 if you're gonna buy it on eBay or something. And then you have these two guys here. I think they were Figpin exclusives on their website, and I think these are still available though, by the way, regardless. They could have been a common, I'm not sure, but these two are still available on their website. And these guys here, Luke and Han here, in the Stormtrooper outfit, you can see that the outfits are a bit dirty. But we're going to take a closer look at the detail on this once I take these out of the packaging and see what they actually look like, close up. Why don't we, one real quick look, you can see what they all look like there. So now let's just get these out of the packaging so we can take a better look at them individually. All right, here you have the artwork on the back of each of the pens. As you can see, the artwork is really, really cool. And the artwork, believe it or not, looks a lot like the pens. So let's get these pens out so I can just zoom in and you guys can see what I'm talking about when it comes to the detail of these guys. So here are the fig pens out of the box, and they're displayed on the black stand that comes with them in the box. And again, what I love so much about fig pens is that you have so many options to display these. Each of these come with a rubber back, even without the black base that you see there. or you can display them inside the casing, the whole nine, and they just look amazing no matter what you do. So let's just zoom in here. We'll start with Darth Vader, the gold version here, so you guys can see the detail more clearly. Now, as you can see, all the lines, the details, the front of his costume, all of that is sculpted. And when I say sculpted, you can see how it's the enamel is filled in and that type of stuff. But then we go over to Luke on Tauntaun. Again, like I said, this happens to be one of my favorite pen because this pen is so beautifully painted and colored and designed. I think Eric did a masterful job of this guy and did a fantastic job representing this particular scene from the movie. I love it, love it, love it. Look at the shades of gray, blue. Look at Luke's outfit, the winter outfit that he has, and then the face of the Tauntaun looks absolutely amazing. And then let's take a look over here at Princess Leia. She's got that blaster there, the classic buns on the side of her head. I think he did a fantastic job with Leia as well. And then we'll go over here, take a look at our brother Luke. Again, the shading and the detail. These things look cel shaded the way that it appears, and it gives it this three-dimensional depth to it, and at the same time it looks like it's just painted on a wall like graffiti. It's kind of hard to explain. When you see them in hand, you'll know what I'm talking about. The same with Darth Vader. You can see here the detail on his outfit. Lightsaber almost looks like it's glowing. Painted really well. And what I'll do is, because a great part of collecting fig pens is the app. And so I'll take one of these fig pens and I'll show you what it looks like in the app and why that just adds such a cool dimension to collecting. I've done it before in other videos that I've done of fig pens, but I think if you're not using the app, even though collecting pens, if you collect Disney pens and things like that, it's really cool. But with Figpin, if you're not using the app, I think you're kind of missing out on part of the experience in collecting these pretty awesome pens. And again, you can see the Stormtrooper. Lots of detail. Look at this guy. Look at the detail on the blaster. And then another really, really cool one. We know what this guy looks like, R2-D2. But check out the detail. Look at, you can see where the droid, where he had some dirt and oil or whatever. And here on C-3PO, look at the coloring inside of his torso there with the wires. Really cool. His eyes appear to be glowing. And then we'll go over here to Han. And you can see how dirty the Stormtrooper outfit is. And then the same over here with Luke. And I will zoom on out here. And there you have it. This is what the first wave, that I'm calling the first wave of my videos, look like, because I'll also do one for the Mandalorian, and there are a ton of Mandalorian fig pens, and also the Bad Batch and the Clone Wars. So now we're going to take a look at one of the pens in the app and show you why the app is so cool. Now you guys can see what I see here. I'm going to click on Figpin, and then you can see here, when I clicked on the little diamond there, you can see my collection. The Simpsons just got released this past week. But since I have so many pens, you can see I have 1,049 pens. I can just scroll through this all day trying to find it, but there's a pretty cool search feature here. So I'm just going to type Vader. We'll use that pen as an example. So when I type Vader in, you can see that I have 3 pens of Vader. I have 2 of the gold pens, and I have one of the regular Vader here. And you can see that each of these pens have a score. Vader, for example, on the left has 6,020, the one in the middle has 10,075, and the one on the right 7,905. And that contributes to my overall Figpin power. If I go back out here, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. My Figpin power is 6,227,229. And that adds up all the power that I have from those pens. So we'll go back to Vader here. And I'll click on the first Vader. And as you see, what comes up is the digital form of the pen that gives me all the stats and the information about Vader. And when you look at it, you can see that Vader is pin 701. That little I right there, which I'm going to click so I don't care. You guys, some people can say, you showed your serial number. But that pen has a serial number, and that's the serial number of that pen. But since I have the pen in hand, it doesn't really matter. So when I look at this F, when I look at and click on the F right here, you'll see here that there's multiple things like down here for the factory score. You'll see there's 1, 2, 3 editions of this pen. There's different lots of this pen. So there's a lot of them that were made of that particular Vader. My pen happens to be, if you look at the edition size from the first edition lot A, there were 8,000 of these pens made. My pen happens to be 7,426 in the sequence of production of the pens. I was the 36th person to enter this pen into the app and adopt it. And here it says that I have max boost achieved. That means that there are 100 accounts, 100 people out there or whatever that have boosted this pen to give me that score. So when you look at the score of 6,020, it's that 43, the factory score, which you can't change. That's the top score. That's just how it comes off the assembly line. And then the story score, which is 140. Now the story score can constantly change, and right now I only have 140 because I was the 36th to adopt it, and I was 100. I'm max boost, so it's, you add those together, that's 6,020 for that pen. But if I go back out and I look at a different pen, like the one in the middle here, the gold Darth Vader, let's look how many of these were made. It looks like here there were 2,000 of those pens made, and then when I go back out of that and I look at the stats here, the factory score is a bit different on this pen, but I have a low sequence of 991, so that gave me a bit more factory power than the previous one did, and none of that's controlled by you. It's just whatever you happen to get off the shelf, that's what you get. And then there's 2,000 of them. You can see that I was the 18th person to adopt this pen, so that matters too, because so when this pen was released to be put in the app, I was the 18th person to enter my serial number into the app. And then it's been boosted to the max of 100, and then it has a cohort. And what the cohort means is that 20% of the 2,000 pens that were released have been entered into the app and unlocked at this point. So if there's 2,000 pens, then there's been 200 people that have entered that Darth Vader in the app and have received points for it. So, and there's some other things you see that here that have locks by them. For example, check-ins. These are things that are coming in the future so that you can take your pen to a con or like Star Wars Celebration and have one of the artists check your pen in or sign it or something like this. And that will ever be assigned to that pen with that serial number, which adds to the story score. So your pen goes on a journey from being, you know, from the time it's manufactured to the time that you get it and adopt it, the time that someone else had it and adopted, all of that's incorporated in the score. And then here you have the check-ins. Let me go back. The check-ins would be like if you took your pen to a con, but the tags would be more like an artist or someone tagging your pen. I had it a little backwards there. And then there's some other things. There's battles coming, and I've seen multiple iterations of people's thoughts about what that would look like, including some fans have made their own battles where two pens can go into an arena, and based on their factory score and different things like that, which pen comes out on top. But they're still working on that. And then I know for a fact that there's some other beta testing going on in terms of how you can organize your collection and things like that. But that's the app. And like I said before, if you collect Fig pens and you're not using the app, I think you're doing yourself a disservice, because that's part of the fun. So here, when you look at this particular thing, you can see that my entire collection of Fig pens are in the app. And then I can sort them by various different ways, by the date they were adopted, the edition size, the Fig pin number, the Fig pin power. So let's do that, for example. So the highest power of any fig pen that I have is this Cinderella, which is 27,000. As far as the pen itself being number 264, but it's really, really fun because having that super match also gave me an extra 100 points right there where it says super match because of the sequence. But anyway, I will get back to what we have in front of us, which is the fig pens themselves, so that we can wrap this up. But again, stay tuned for my next video, and it's gonna probably be maybe The Mandalorian or Clone Wars, I'm not sure. But guys, continue to collect awesome, you fig pen collectors, and remember to always collect what you like and not the hype. Until next time, my friends, peace.